I pledge to be
a
positive influence on my friends, family, and community. I promise to listen with an open heart without judgment. I give my word to speak with sincerity and kindness. When I am challenged, I will see the humanity in others. I commit to recognizing and checking my privileges. I understand that we come from different backgrounds. I vow to pay attention to our societal needs. I will choose love when things get hard. I pledge to choose empathy. Let's get a picture.
All right, we are back with our series of blog entries, if you will, and we're discussing barriers for those re-entering society. And I have with me Mr. Shabazz, and he's going to tell you who he is and briefly talk about some of the barriers that he has experienced on 2 occasions of incarceration.
Good afternoon. Some of the barriers that I was faced with being incarcerated, I was first incarcerated in 2003. I was shipped around to different facilities throughout the state of Kentucky for nonviolent drug offenses, which I was first sentenced to 16 years. I done it 38 months. Once I was released, no job skills. I've had jobs, but not jobs that I could actually go out to. I was actually denied a job that would allow me to cut grass, and I could not do that because I was a convicted felon.
And that's one of the jobs that is on the list of employment that those re-entering society are ineligible to be a part of.
That is correct. You just have to get out there and just fish around and see what's out there. One of the barriers was housing. Where do you stay? Who do you live with? Not everybody is just susceptible to just letting a convicted felon move in the house, especially if they don't know exactly what that felon is. Neighbors find out, schools find out. You don't really know exactly what it is. Everybody's criminalized.
Then they just know that they have a felony on their record. So the question becomes: are you all provided a list of these jobs that you cannot have as you all are attempting to gain employment, or is it the question on the box, that you have to check yes, that sort of alerts the employer that you're not qualified? Like, I'm trying to get some understanding of how do we go about limiting the jobs? Like, who enforces that?
Once I was released with my case manager, and I was provided that list. And I remember specifically that list. I navigated probably 90% of the jobs that were listed. About 90% of them was incorrect. They had hired felons, but you're speaking about 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm. So no one searched their background, or?
They searched their background, they were hired, but this was 2011, 12. You're talking about somebody that was hired with maybe a misdemeanor 10 years ago. The specifics are not given until you get that application and you check that box. You get the interview, but you won't get the job. So now here comes the depression part, because you've spent maybe your last dollars getting your suit or getting your casual clothing, your interview clothing ready. You spent your last dollar trying to find transportation to get to that interview on time, and here we are right back to where we started at, and it triggers up a lot of depression.
So a series of no to employment, barriers to re-entering society.